So today I want to talk about the moment when it all clicks, when suddenly trading goes effortless and you're wondering the whole time, what did I miss before? Why does everything suddenly work? And for a long period of time you will go through this phase where it seems impossible and you're searching for the secret in order to become profitable, in order to make it, right? But then you realize there is no secret, and that's what every professional trader can tell you, that there is no magic secret that will suddenly turn everything you touch into gold. There is just something that happens when you study one pair, one session, and I know it sounds boring, but just one pair, one session for a long enough period of time, there is something magical that happens in your mind where you suddenly, like, you've seen that movie too many times to get manipulated, to make the same errors again and again, because you've just seen that pair, that session for so long that it almost becomes like boring. It's like, oh yeah, the same pair, the same session, another day. And at that point, your intuition grows and your understanding of price grows. One thing is to backtest, which obviously you need to do, but another thing is to just observe that pair live. When you observe that pair live for a long enough time, you realize that it's certain movements you recognize, certain speed, certain patterns, but you can only see them live. It's not the same in backtesting. And something more interesting is you get this intuition or this feeling. Not saying to trade based on intuition, but like your nervous system will tell you what feels right, like when you should close the trade, all of that stuff. Like your nervous system is so advanced and it's so, like, it's developed over a so long period of time that it's difficult for me to explain, but like my nervous system, like everything inside me tells me, like yesterday when I was in a long position and I was aiming for previous day high, then my nervous system kind of gave me this signal, or like I noticed when I got this feeling like, this isn't that good anymore. And then I immediately took a partial. And later I closed the whole position and then it went down. And how was I able to do this? Because I've done stuff like this for a long period of time now, so I know that it's not just luck. It's not just one lucky day, one lucky understanding. And for a long period of time I was like always, like I had some profits, but a lot of times I ended up giving that profit back to the market and I felt like I was almost there. But then when you do it long enough, you'll start to understand how this stuff really works. And me personally, I have a strategy, and I also have days where I trade more. I have rules, but it's not like you need to wait for this specific liquidity sweep, this fair value gap, market structure shift, like all that stuff. But I have rules, obviously. And every single day, my Discord, which is linked in the bio, I go over the pair, the session, and I tell you which days are high probability, which days are low probability, where I think the market is going that day, and what you can trade and all of that stuff. And I really try to help people along the way. I've found a strategy and a system that works perfectly for me. And what I'm trying to do is, I'm not just trying to give you a signal or tell you do this and you'll become profitable, but the most important is I give a daily market analysis, so you have a larger understanding of the session that specific day and what price is most likely to do, like the higher time frame narrative. And then it's up to you, obviously I give signals as well, but it's up to you to understand how you like to trade. Because what I've noticed in the market is that even though you've backtested a strategy for a long time, like let's say 6 months, 1 year, more, whatever, then a lot of times what ends up happening is the market always has a plot twist. A lot of sessions, there's always a plot twist, and if you're not aware of the plot twist, you are going to lose. And it's so simple that if I would just give away my strategy, you wouldn't become profitable with the strategy. Why? People say, oh, it's because psychology. Obviously that matters as well, but it's not that simple. It's not just psychology which is the reason why you fail. It's something as simple as the strategy isn't always black and white. It's not always written in black and white. You have to understand, like you have to study that pair, that session all the time, every single day, watch it live. That's why I say don't trade like 5 different pairs, 10 different sessions, because you're just going to get confused. And once you've studied that for a long enough time, it's more like you have a better understanding of the pair, and you know that, okay, the hard time frame narrative is this today, let's say, I think is going lower, but maybe you don't get the exact same like pattern that you've backtested, but you get something similar, right? Then it's about understanding how to execute and your understanding of the markets. But a lot of people say just follow your strategy strictly, and obviously that's a more disciplined way to do it, and I have like enormous respect for that approach. I do that as well on some of my biggest funnel accounts, but the thing is, you get punished for being too predictable in these markets. If you're too predictable, if you expect the exact same pattern to arrive every single time you trade, then you're too predictable. All they have to do is sweep you one more time and you're out every single time. And if you've experienced that you simply can't find an edge by having a really strict plan, then I want to help, because I don't always trade a really strict plan. Sometimes I'm more flexible. The thing is, people think that it's only one type of risk management, one type of trading style that's going to work for everyone, but that's simply not true. Like, let's say you always put the stop loss at the swing, like the protected swing, high or low. That's not going to work for everyone, and sometimes it's even too obvious. Everyone tries to trade the exact same style. Like, you have to think outside the box, because if you do what everyone else is doing, you're going to lose. The 1% doesn't just make it because they're more disciplined than everyone else, or they work harder, or people think they're just more disciplined. That's not true. A lot of times it's just because they are able to think different and find something that works for them. So what you need to do is you need to stop copying everyone else. You need to understand the market bias for the session. This is what I did in 2024, which worked it worked so good in 2024, and my strategy in 2024, like, it wasn't based on something like some strategy I learned from someone. I was just observing the S&P 500 every single day New York session, and eventually my mind saw something that works. Obviously I backtested a lot as well, but I just observed it. Then you will find something that works for you, that makes sense for you, a pattern that your mind recognizes. For me, in EURUSD now, one of the patterns I recognized is simply a specific day I used to lose. I was the liquidity, and I studied how I lost every single time that pattern repeated itself, and I realized it was an inducement. So while other people may explain that as whatever, a trend, like, I don't know what technical term they want, for me, it's my mind understands that it's a trap. Like, they sent price too quickly up before the session started, and like, I see where traders are trapped, and I wait for the move to fade, and then I look for a short position. That's simple. Like, that works for my mind. And I know, like, at that point, they don't just send it to the day low, they send it a lot lower. So I know that I can add to positions, scale in, like, take a lot from the market that particular day. But if you would look at my executions, it looks ridiculous that days, but it works. So if you're interested in learning from me, just click the link in the bio to join the Discord, and what I want you to focus on is find something that works for you. Forget everything you think you know. The only thing that matters is the bias for the day on the higher time frames and understanding the narrative. But you're here to basically outsmart or outplay other people in the market psychologically. Don't focus too much on patterns all the time. Focus on psychology. Focus on the feeling you get in your like nervous system, in your body, and study why do I get this feeling, what may other people that are participating in this market think and feel right now, how can I use that against them, right? That's it. Good luck. You're closer than you think. Just keep going.